If you've watched many of my videos, you know that I'm a pretty big believer in continuing education, reading, knowledge, getting involved in business groups and such. And so in light of that, I've got a book recommendation for you. And I think this one applies a little more to companies that are bigger, a million or greater. However, I would not suggest that you don't read this book if you're smaller. In fact, the author wouldn't suggest that. I'm just saying, based on some of the books I've recommended to others before, also based on some of the videos I do on YouTube, some of the videos that I do that really would mean something to a little bit larger companies or resonate a little bit more with larger companies don't tend to do very well on the YouTube channel or on Lawn Care Millionaire. For example, I did one on org chart recently. Those things just don't tend to be as popular, but a larger company would understand that. And that's just how it is in business. You'll hear all kinds of things and they fly by you. They don't mean anything yet, but someday you'll encounter a problem. You'll encounter a bottleneck. You'll need to solve something, and then some of that knowledge will either come back to you, or if you read that thing or hear that thing again, it's like, now I get it. Never made sense before. That's simply because you hadn't dealt with the challenge yet. You don't know what you don't know. So the book I'd like to recommend is this book right here. It's called Traction, and it's by a guy by the name of Gino Wickman. Again, if you're less than a million, it's worth a read, but there's also a lot of other things you're probably focusing on right now and reading. But if you're larger, I'd really recommend going through this book. There's a number of books similar to this. This is just one that I happen to like. There's several, again, like it. I've read all of them, but I'd read it. I'd think about it. If you wanted to implement what's in it, looking at our businesses, interestingly, we already do a lot of what's in here, but there's also a lot we're not doing that we've been thinking about and actually working on implementing some of those ideas. So it's not a book this is one of those books where I didn't just read it. This is a book that I found very actionable, that you could almost go through like a workbook, and you could go through chapter 1 and you could think about applying what they talk about in chapter 1, then you can go through chapter 2. And by all means, do it if you've got the time as you're smaller, or maybe this upcoming winter, start thinking through this stuff. Right now, if it's spring and you're smaller, keep your head down and sell work, grow this thing. Don't get distracted. If you're bigger, I think this will really resonate with you. It's a book totally worth reading. You may not follow everything in it, but I'll bet you'll swipe 3, 4, 5 big ideas out of it that you can apply to your business. So go get it on Audible, get it in book form. Last little thing, when I find a book like this that I really like, that's powerful, I both buy it on Audible and I buy the hard copy of it. I buy both and I go through both. So hope you find value in it.